Hello, my name is Matthew Deutsch, and I'm a professional business plan writer. Today's topic is going to be about writing a business plan specific for a pack and ship store. I have another video which I've linked to this one as well. By far, this is one of the best businesses I've ever seen. It's low startup costs, minimal inventory. You're buying cardboard boxes and packing peanuts. Equipment is limited to pretty much just computers in terms of major expense. In terms of getting things like copiers and printing equipment, that can almost always be leased. So today I'm just going to focus on the important parts of the business plan if you're writing a document specific for a pack and ship store. In the link in the comment box below, there's also a link to a full sample business plan that I created specific for the pack and ship store industry. As with any business plan, it should start with the executive summary first, but this is the last chapter of the business plan that you should write because it really should act as a summation for everything else that you've created within the document. In terms of how I lay out my business plans, it's always a 9-chapter, 5-appendix document. The second chapter is always the financing. And here you focus on whether it's the investment that you're looking to acquire, if you're getting a business loan, such as an SBA loan, or if you're just self-financing the business. In this section, I typically focus on how much capital is needed and exactly where those funds will be allocated, and then ending it within the exit strategy. Most people tend to run their businesses for as long as possible, but with any successful business that's profitable, there's always a market among people that want to buy something that's existing. So I always include that as well as part of the discussion. Chapter 3 generally always focuses on the operations. For a pack and ship store, this includes discussing things like which carriers you're going to use. For independent pack and ship stores, you can use FedEx, UPS, DHL, while also providing postal services as well. This is usually one of the main drivers of revenue for a pack and ship store. The second revenue stream is almost always related to packaging products on behalf of clients. This is the highest margin center in terms of how these businesses make their profit. Often, especially if it's for a very fragile item, often the packaging alone is equal to the cost of the shipping. Again, huge margins on selling cardboard boxes and packaging materials, and this is again a major profit center. Copier and printing services. Again, most businesses either provide this directly in-house or they outsource it to a third party. Again, a discussion about this and how it can also be a high margin center, especially if you're working with local restaurants and real estate agents and real estate brokers that have ongoing needs for printed materials. That's always discussed. Notary services. Almost all pack and ship store owners that I know are notaries. Even though it's a small revenue stream, you can't charge much, and some states limit the amount you can actually charge for notary services. It's a good way to bring people in. One of the other best revenue streams for pack and ship store as well is the mailbox rentals. This creates a highly recurring stream of revenue. You can have as many of them as you want. Even though the people have those, the situation with all the tiny mailboxes with the key, there's nothing that prevents you from just assigning a different number to someone if you exceed that. And more often than not, once that reaches full capacity, that fully supports a lot of the underlying costs of the business. Which is why I really like pack and ship stores, because you do have that recurring revenue that makes these businesses very profitable. From there, the fourth section of the plan that I typically write just discusses the organization, where it's incorporated, things of that nature. Chapter 5 is always the market research, which should encompass 4 specific things, from all 4 fingers up. The current state of economy, the industry, the customer profile and demographics specific for your area, as well as the competition. In regards to competition, making sure you're not opening a independent pack and ship store near where already one exists is important. Sort of the big issue is, major competitors like the UPS store, which have, nationwide distribution, relationships with companies like Amazon for returns, things of that nature. You should very thoroughly examine as well. Chapter 6 in any plan that I write just discusses key strategic issues and how the business will grow. Chapter 7 is always the marketing plan, discussing the numerous ways that you can market this business, especially through direct outreach, again, with restaurants, real estate brokers, and agents that have ongoing needs for printing, establishing relationships with local businesses that often have e-commerce channels where they're sending things out. And this is important not for only driving that predictable income through services, but also onboarding independent entrepreneurs that are working from home, who may want to have a private mailbox rather than using their own home address, especially if they're going to incorporate or have a corporation. A lot of business owners don't want to use their direct home address as also their official corporate address. Chapter 8 is the staffing plan. Here discussing whether you're going to have an assistant manager, if you're going to be an owner operator that's on the premises at all times, any sort of support staff, bookkeeper. You can create a small table that discusses the anticipated payroll and these are again per hour. Most of the time they're per hour positions, so you can sort of outline what those expenses are going to be. Then of course is the financial plan, and this is where a lot of people get tripped up and where most people find have the most difficulty in developing this document. One of the complexities is creating a very detailed revenue assumptions page that discusses how many packages are we going to ship out each day, how many of those packages are going to require that we package the product, how many printing engagements are we going to have, how many notary services, which again is a small one, how many new clients are we going to get on a monthly basis that are going to be using our private mailboxes. All of that should be very carefully outlined so that way you get your top line income or your revenue. In terms of your cost of revenue, pretty minimal from the service standpoint. Again, if you're packaging something, a cardboard box and some packing peanuts, notary services, unless someone's paying you with a credit card, there's really no fee for that. Same deal with the mailbox rental, just the monthly processing costs. And then for shipping, to understand how much you're charging more than what it costs you to actually send it out. The other component of your profit and loss statement, your rent, your utilities, your payroll, general maintenance to your location, leasing for copiers and printers and other equipment that may be on site. From there, and for most people, a profit and loss statement is a pretty straightforward thing. Money coming in, money going out, profit. Where there's additional complexity, and especially if you're looking for private investment or a business loan, you're also going to be required to have a cash flow analysis and a balance sheet. A cash flow analysis it looks similar to the profit and loss statement, but there are some differences. Most importantly, when it comes to the cash flow analysis, things like depreciation are added back in. And this is really showing where again, as the name states, this is really taking a look at where the physical cash of the business is going. Whether you're repaying a business loan, whether you're distributing dividends, those will all be covered in the cash flow analysis. For the balance sheet, this is a list of your assets, liabilities, and equity. If you self-finance the business, then assets and equity will be very close. You'll have minimal liabilities related to, let's say, accounts payable if you're going to operate on the accrual method, tax liabilities, things of that nature. If you're on the cash basis, they'll be even closer. If you take on a business loan, that would fall under long-term liabilities, or if you have a working capital line of credit, that again would fall under long-term liabilities. If you're not familiar with any of these things, I have another video that thoroughly documents in depth all these things, and it's good to fall asleep to if you got nothing else to do. But that's essentially how that works in terms of a financial model. In closing, also again in the comments below there is a full sample package ship store business plan that you could take a look at, which has all of those elements fully incorporated into it, so that if you're having trouble understanding where you should be developing the plan, you can take a look and use that as a map. In closing, again, I'm a professional business plan writer, so if you do need help with your business plan or if you have some questions, certainly feel free to reach me at any time. The name of my company is Deutsch & Thomas. We're going through a bit of a rebranding, as we've been in business for 20 years, it's time to do a fresh look. So our new website is called Human Intelligence Business Plans, and you can visit it. We've got tons of other samples for other businesses as well, besides pack and ship stores. And again, feel free to reach out anytime if you have any questions or if you need help with your business plan. Thank you very much for taking a look. Take care.